Hi everybody and welcome back to another episode of Grim Dawn, Reign of Terror. So in this video I am actually trying to investigate what would be the best options for a mid-tier level 40 character trying to farm for some decent gears. So far from my experience of farming Mephisto, I find it pretty good. I've actually found 3 pieces of Stone of Jordan from Mephisto himself, and that is probably less than 20 to 30 runs. And if all and those familiar with Diablo would know that Stone of Jordan is actually one of the more unique rings in the game due to its +1 skills. Due to the +1 skill, due to the +1 skills feature there. So and I think it's great to it will be great to actually compare against farming with Mephisto, Izual at 4, and even Shenk at X5. So join me in this run as we do a couple more runs on Mephisto, Travincal, X4, Izual, as well as X5, and see whether what other unique drops would they bring us. So far I'm liking the Stone of Jordan. And from my last few trips down, I've actually also found this unique bow, the Witch Wow String. And what I find pretty about it is that it actually changed all my arrows into magical arrows. So when I was doing Strath in the past, it was just normal arrows, and now I'm doing magical arrows by Strath. Some other more unique finds that I found was this, I think, Chill Search Ring. This will probably appeal more to those who are dealing with cold damage. But nonetheless, it's still a very unique drop which I found from the runs that I've been doing, as well as this Sentinel seal, which I think is probably more applicable for a paladin or a soldier build or even a barbarian build. Yeah. But without further ado, let's go do a bit more runs and to see what other unique drops can we find from Mephisto and the rest. So for now, I kind of like doing runs with Izual as well. He's really easy to farm, very convenient, just walk out of the waypoint. Sometimes I do get killed by him still. Yeah, so I do need to be careful. He has a frozen effect which is quite significant. Yeah, and there you have it. Izual actually gives really nice drops and pretty convenient to kill as well. Okay, this is Golem Fist Gavel. So it's actually a 2-handed blunt. Yeah, pretty good. I probably will just keep it for some of my other characters. Another one that I like to do is Frigid Highlands. Just walk backwards to kill Shenk. That's also a pretty easy kill. I used to do it when I was in Hell mode, but now given I'm such a newbie in this game, I probably would just want to try doing it in normal mode just to gain some levels and find some good gears from it. Yeah. That's a Shea rune, always good to have. Yeah, for those who are joining us for the first time, I'm actually using a Amazon build, Fire Arrow with Immolation Arrow and Exploding Arrow. So the effects sort of synergizes, and you have this arrow that is a fire arrow. It is also a magical arrow from my unique bow. And I think the more unique part is once the arrow hits a mob, it will actually explode and leave a fiery trail on the ground that burns them, that continues to burn them. So I think those are so far this build has been helping me to level pretty easily. Yeah, nothing much here, and let's head over to Travincal. So far, I think because I'm wearing 2 Stone of Jordan, my mana seems to be recovering fairly well. I've done 2 bosses and I have not used much of my mana potions. Although I'm do feeling the strain once I probably run into my 3rd area. So far so good. I think it's improved. It has improved, and because of wearing 2 Stone Jordans, my damage has also improved a fair bit. Yeah, these are the council members at Act 3. I have been farming them as well in addition to Mephisto. Oops, something good. Let's have a look at it. Oh, double unique drops. That's good. Okay, this is a shoulder guard. I somehow suspect that I might have seen this before. And what's the next one? Oh, this is a one-handed axe cold kill. Yeah, it is probably more suitable for a paladin or probably even a ice build melee character. Yeah, cool. Let's head on to Mephisto. Yeah. I shared in the previous video that I was getting bored from the Mephisto runs and Travincal runs, right? But so far I do find that I am getting quite a bit of good items still from Mephisto and Travincal. So before I level up, before I get to Nightmare mode, I do want to change out from some of my existing gears. Some of them are still rare items. Yeah. But I guess as compared to my previous runs, I am handling Mephisto at a much easier pace now, given my upgrades in gears and stuff, as well as my bow. Yeah, another set item. Oh, one-handed mace. I think I have 2 other pieces of this set in my stash. That will help complete the piece, and maybe I can use it for my future melee characters, be it a paladin or barbarian, I guess. Although I am thinking of probably making a necromancer or sorceress, given the other items I've found so far. Yeah, those would probably appeal to me more. Although I've seen some of the whirlwind barbarians, it seems to be quite an interesting build as well. I think that's one of my other favorite, which is to do a whirlwind barbarian, which is pretty hardy at endgame and could probably survive better than even the Amazon or sorceress. But I do like the Amazon because of the fast DPS damage done. I've also seen reviews or heard about you should be building characters which are more hardy in this game, which I sort of agree. Whereby doing DPS in this game is not tough, but rather how can you survive and stay and stay alive, right? So I think that's the challenge in this part. Oops, no uniques from Mephisto this time, unfortunately. So far, if I were to redo a character, this is likely the process that I will go, which is to farm through Izual, Mephisto, Travincal, as well as Act 5 Shenk. I think this is actually quite good a run. Moving through 4 mobs of bosses and getting a good selection of gears from there. I probably will likely carry on for a little while more, just to get some additional gears before I head out to hunt for Bale. as well as to venture more into the nightmare mode. Yeah. Yeah. So far, I think Izual is quite a good boss which I like to kill as well. His drops have been pretty good. Yeah, as you guys can see, it's a set item. Doesn't this complete my set? Yeah. Yeah. These two are a set. I think that might complete my set. Cool. Okay. So let's move on to the Frigid Highlands Shenk. My Valkyrie has been doing pretty well as well. She hasn't died. I have actually leveled the skill probably to level 10 or 11. I also have Strength, which I mentioned, which turns into a magical arrow, which turns my normal arrow into magical arrow, and once you upgrade your attack speed, you can see that it works pretty well. As although I think in some of my previous videos I did mention that I do hope that the Strength becomes more intuitive at sourcing for enemies. So far I find it a bit not too clever at finding enemies. I think that could be improved. But fire arrow is still one of my favorite skills so far. Something I like about the old Strength from OD2 is that you could be standing in the center of many mobs, and it actually cleverly goes to each of the creatures to fire a shot. I find that the remodeled Strength in this Grim Dawn mod, right, doesn't have that similar effect, which I found to be smarter in classic D2. So I also did mention that I find Guided Arrow, one of the other skills in the Amazon tree, to be not as useful as how it was in classic D2. So I think these two are probably some things that the mod developers could consider to look into or to improve over the next few patches. But overall, the gameplay has been great. I do get the old D2 feeling of farming for uniques, and the nice variety from the Grim Dawn items was the other Grim Dawn unique also is also pretty interesting. I am still thinking whether would I ever introduce like to try a Grim Dawn Diablo II hybrid character. At the moment, I'm still pretty prone to use the D2 classic characters more than classes than the Grim Dawn ones, due to nostalgia. But maybe we could do like a classic Necromancer and D2 classic Necromancer with a Grim Dawn Necromancer build to see how it works. Almost like a pet master. But let me know in the comments what would you advise, or what would you want me to try out in the future videos, in the comment box below, and maybe I could look into it when I'm bored bringing my Amazon into Nightmare. But so far I think one thing interesting would be a Necromancer. I've seen builds like a Necromancer Paladin that seems interesting as well. Having a Necromancer who holds a shield, and having auras that would bump the minions, I think that's quite an interesting build for me as well. Or even like as mentioned, a double Necromancer build. So something additional I found out in this game is you should be picking up as much socketed items as possible, because you might need to use them to build the rune words, which are one of the high-end items in classic Diablo. So it's not easy to find the right socketed items because in this version of Grim Dawn Reign of Terror D2 mod, right, you do need specific socketed items rather than just generic 2-slot chest armors. So you do need specific 2-slot chest armors in order to build the rune word you are interested to build. So therefore, I would advise just picking up all socketed items and leaving it in the stash just in case. Okay, and we are closing in on Mephisto, our second queue of Mephisto. Hopefully he drops us something good this time. I was actually quite thrilled that he dropped me 3 SOJs, and hopefully I can find other unique items from Mephisto, probably like a unique amulet or... Oops, too much talking. Yeah, as mentioned in the last run, after you are able to do DPS, I think the next thing is to really look into survivability. Oops, I hear unique. Let's see what it is. Wow, there's a lot of items. And ooh, Hex Fire. I think it's a one-handed sword that increases fire damage. It probably would work better for Fire Sorceress. Yeah, it will work better for Fire Sorceress with the high fire damage, or maybe any, or even a druid, a fire druid probably. Yeah. I do pick up the rest now and then, just to see if there's anything interesting, or to sell them as gold. In this game, you do need quite a bit of gold to get the mercenaries and stuff, especially as a newbie in this game. Yeah, probably let's try our third run. Let's try our third series of runs and see if we get anything good. I'm probably thinking of moving on to the rest of Act 5 after this final run. Yeah, I got frozen by... I was frozen by Izual. Unfortunately, no unique this time. So if anyone has any questions for the game, I would be very happy to answer them, maybe in the comments box. So feel free to leave any questions that you might have about this mod or D2 in general in the comment box, and I'll be happy to answer them if I know anything about them, of course. But so far, I think this game has been very enjoyable. I'm reliving my old days of farming for items at D2 and building up my characters.